Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakat Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach the Bible in 100% truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, starting with 144,000, and the rest of the elect consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, today back yet again on the trail of prophecy. You have the understanding of Ezekiel chapter 33. It says this: "So thou, O son of man," this is verse 7, Ezekiel 33 and 7. "So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me." So this is the job of the prophet, is to warn the nation of Israel. In this particular case, the times that we're living in today, we're actually speaking of the elect of the nation of Israel, a particular group, a much smaller remnant of that particular nation, and we're out here to warn them. It says here, "Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me." So that's why you listen to these videos. We all try to tune into the Spirit and read what the Spirit is showing us and telling us and warning us of the things that are due to come. We know that we're in perilous times. We're in the last days, the very latter last days. We have the prophecy of World War III and the prophecy of the MOTB. And these two things are due to take place very soon. And a lot of them are going to bring great judgment and destruction, death, and a lot of hard times for a lot of people around the globe. There's 8 million plus people around the planet. And at some point, everybody will be affected by these particular prophecies that are due to take place. You've got these two major prophecies. Then you have the deliverance, the return of the Son of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. His son Yahweh Shai will return to bring great destruction upon this empire and move us forward into the kingdom of heaven. So we're here and we've been set up as watchmen unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. Now, a watchman, in ancient times, when you had a city, you had a wall around the city, and you'd have a watchman set up on a high tower, maybe against the wall, and just above the height of the wall. And so for that reason, this watchman could watch the land or the area surrounding this particular city. And if he were to see enemy incoming, by foot, by horse, marching in, whichever particular way, the job of this watchman was to blow the trumpet. And when blowing this trumpet, you're supposed to produce a particular type of sound which indicates war or enemy approaching. And so when you look into the details of a watchman, you can warn the people, the children of Israel, that this destruction is coming. You have time to repent and get right before Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai brings this judgment. But then, as prophecy develops, things will move forward. And then you have to say to the children of Israel, look, that time for repentance is almost up. And then comes a phase where you say, well, that time of repentance is up. Here comes the judgment. And then the judgment comes. So the various stages of warning people. And, as we've seen, over the last 3 to 4 years, we're witnessing major prophecies develop around us while we live through them. So we've come to the understanding that these prophecies come to pass gradually. Things get activated, and then it takes time for other things to develop to fulfill, the ultimate fulfillment of a particular prophecy. We see the end point We see the development. We're fast approaching the completion of these two major prophecies. Like I say, the MOTB, which is Revelation chapter 13, 15, 16 on down, or you've got the World War III, the third woe, the great destruction that's coming to these nations. So we're doing the job of the watchman. And for example, looking around today, with the events that have taken place, we brought out that the events taking place down in the Middle East with the small hats, this is the activation of Jeremiah chapter 49 and 20, the least of the flock, drawing out other nations into the third woe. So we definitely know we're in some perilous times. And yet again, don't forget that this prophecy is a gradual thing. So it gets activated. We see particular moves taking place. We've actually seen what's written in the book physically occur. We've read out, Jeremiah 49:20 told you this is what's going to happen. And now we've seen it physically occur before our own eyes. And so the next step, I've explained that with World War, you start off with a regional conflict, a conflict that we've got at the minute between two particular opposing sides. And then eventually that will develop into a regional war. Other nations from around that particular region will join the war. And then that will develop into a world war, because then other nations from around the globe, big, great powers, great big nations, they will join this particular war. And this will be the fulfillment of World War III. And then obviously World War III, has a, World War III, or, a world war doesn't just come and go in a day. It will, span the course of a particular time, and things will be destroyed, so on and so forth. So, we're in that time. The articles that we're seeing coming out constantly are all pointing to this great destruction, the Third World War. And this is Vladimir Putin. This is the Sun. This article here dated the 27th of October, 11:47. So I believe that was yesterday. Friday, sorry. It says here, Vladimir Putin has invited senior Hamas and Iranian leaders to Moscow in a terrifying move towards forming an axis of terror. The small hats have blasted the meetings as an obscene step towards supporting terrorism, while the Russian tyrant gets increasingly cozy with Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping. So, North Korea, China, Russia, and now Iran are getting together. They're having meetings and they're creating this axis of terror as it's being described here. This is a huge part. This is exactly what we've been describing in the events of World War III, how it's going to play out. So like I say, we've seen the activation of Jeremiah 49:20 about 3 weeks ago. And slowly you're going to see the activation of other prophecies where these nations come together, agree on one particular aim, and then take that aim into this Third World War, this destruction. So we're very close to this time. We believe that the members of the elect are sealed, and they have to be, because the Most High is actually activating the process of World War III right before our eyes. So if there were members of the elect out there yet to be sealed, the Most High wouldn't have activated World War III. He's moved on from sealing the elect to bringing this Third World War. This is something that we're seeing with our very eyes. We know that in that time, and this is Micah, chapter 7, start of verse 2, says, "The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net." And, we can see that, especially with the way that these small hats control the narrative. These nations like the small hats in America are just going around doing what they want to do. The whole world is waking up to these particular lies. And everybody's eyes are being opened to, what these Edomites have been doing and how they control this system. It says, they that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward, and a great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire. So they wrap it up. These leaders and these judges and so on and so forth, they come together, they make this plan, these banking elites, and they push it forth. It says, the best of them is as a briar, the most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. So the watchmen have been out here, we've warned you, a great destruction is coming. World War III is coming, and a great temptation, a time of temptation is coming from the Most High, in which he will tempt his people, the Israelites, with this MOTB, and those that succumb and take it will definitely not be delivered in the day of judgment. So these are two major things that we're approaching, that the watchmen have warned you about. A watchman has to warn you at particular stages, say, well, the enemy is on its way. And then at some point we have to, the watchman has to say, well, look, the enemy is now, they've reached the top of the hill. And then at another point, the watchman will come out and say, well, look, now the enemy has reached the bottom of the hill. They're getting very close. And then the watchmen have to tell you that, when it's time for impact, to get ready, brace yourself, get ready for impact. So there are various stages of warning people, various messages that you have to give out as a watchman. It says, the day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. So there's a point at which the things that the watchman warned you about start to manifest and happen. That is, it says here, and thy visitation, that's the day of the visitation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, when he starts to bring destruction and perplexity upon these heathen nations around the earth. First of all, the Most High has made a visitation to the elect by giving us the Holy Spirit and giving us the understanding of these scriptures and being able to prophesy. Scriptures say, who can but prophesy? So the first visitation is when the Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai bestows us with the Holy Spirit in order to spread this message to the elect. And the visitation of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai comes when we start to see these chariots, these so-called UFOs in the skies, these vehicles of angelic, or demonic beings, these spiritual beings. And these are things that we've seen. You've been warned of them, and these things are going to take place in the last days, and we've seen these things happen. And so we've warned you of World War III, the third woe. And if you remember, back in January, I specifically came out and mentioned that within 3 years we will have World War III. I told you that through the Spirit, through the understanding of these scriptures, and I gave you a definite timeline as a watchman. I said, look, World War III will be here. I don't know what day, I don't know what season, but I know it will be within 3 years guaranteed. And from that point in January, the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has allowed 10 months to pass by. And on the 10th month, he's activated the prophecy of Jeremiah 49:20. The small hats are drawing out other nations into this third world war. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't take place over one weekend. It's a slow process. Regional conflicts turn into regional wars, which eventually turn into world wars. And so, going back to the particular article, we're seeing the development of that prophecy, the least of the flock drawing out. So they've done the drawing out of the other nations. So the other nations are getting together to go together in battle against these small hats. And eventually this is going to create a full-blooded, unmistakable world war. So the watchman comes out and tells you this third world war will come within 3 years. 10 months down the line, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, starts to activate it, makes it happen, makes it a physical thing for you to be able to see. Took the prophecy from those words in a book, those written down words, black and white, and he turned them into real life events, and they happened right before your eyes, and you can actually say, I witnessed that take place. It says, the day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. So the job of the watchman, once we reach this particular point, I can talk about the events that are going on at the minute, but really and truly we should look into the future to do the job of a watchman. We have to see the next step that's coming. And so, like I say, I mentioned within 3 years, I mentioned at the beginning of 2023, within 3 years, you'll have World War III. The Most High is activated inside of 10 months. You give it another, 8 weeks, we're in 2024. So pretty much we're virtually in 2024 now. We're at that point. If you was in the world and you was thinking that this society is going to live on for a long time, then you would already be planning your life in 2024. So we need to look forward, and we need to understand that, how long do you think this event that is taking place with the small hats down in the Levant, how long do you think that the Most High can drag that out? At some point it either has to die down or it has to flare up and take itself to the next level. So as much as this particular conflict is going to be a long conflict and it's going to eventually develop into World War III, it can't take too long, because if you leave it for too long, eventually they're going to lose the will to go at each other with this destruction. So we're still on for that World War III, happening within the 3 years. The Most High is making it happen. I've experienced this before through the Spirit. When I first came into this, and the Spirit was guiding me and showing me different things, and I didn't really understand what a prophet was. I didn't understand what someone was who would come out and speak before it happens. And then I started having interaction with the Spirit, and the Spirit would show me things, and then they would happen. It would happen 10 months down the line, 7 months down the line, 3 months down the line. And that would give me understanding that this Spirit, this thing, this message that can come to me can actually take place. I just have to have the confidence to come out and tell you. Because, nobody wants to come out here and, every year come out and say, well, this is the year of the Most High. Well, next year, this is the year of the Most High. Well, next year, this is the year. Nobody wants to do that, because you just look like the boy who cried wolf. But to come out last January and boldly tell you and give you a clear definition, I said to you, I gave you a number. I gave you 3 years. I said 2023, 2024, and 2025. By that point, by the end of that point, we would have World War III. The Most High is not going to leave it till the last minute. 10 months have gone by. He's already activated it. So the elect definitely have to be sealed, because now the Most High has moved on to the next stage. The next stage is actually something that we can physically see. It says here, the day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. So looking forward, the next 12 months, I'm expecting a lot of perplexity from around these other nations around the earth. The fact that article is showing you that Putin, Russia are getting together with North Korea, China, and Iran shows that we're at the doorstep of that particular point. The perplexity is when the destruction comes upon America and the small hats, and all that weaponry. They've been blessed with the sword, but it's not going to be enough in that time of World War III, the Great Judgment. So looking forward now, the 3-year window that I gave you, the first year has gone. We're on the edge of this World War III. How far do you think it's going to go before the next phase comes? 2024 could be the year that they roll out this MOTB. They want to, at the minute, if you look at it, the US are trying to get the small hats to delay their invasion. They keep putting pressure on them to delay it, even though they've given them backing, even though they're constantly sending troops down there, which is getting them ready for this third destruction. The US are actually the the US are actually trying to get them to delay the invasion. It's because they want to prepare this digital system. So while our eyes are focused on this trouble that's happening with the small hats, these banking elites are rushing through this process. They're trying to get these systems developed and get it all interlinked and get this CBDC running. Many times we've brought out information showing you as to how far certain nations have got down the line of developing their CBDC. And 2024 is a big year because a lot of them will be quite close to having it, good to go. If you're a nation, if it gets to a point where these banking elites next year say, well, we have to get this CBDC thing up and running ASAP. If you're a smaller nation that haven't got it up and running yet, they're going to just say to you, we'll just copy, the format from a bigger nation. Someone out there has developed it, got it up and running smoothly. That's the template. These other nations are starting to copy it. At some point, they all have to be ready. This CBDC thing could be ready, mid 2024. The all hell could break loose, and we could still roll into 2025. The deliverance could come in 2024, could come in 2025. I doubt it will come in 2026 because we go beyond that 3-year range. And from when I gave you that 3-year range, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, has activated the prophecy inside of 10 months. So we know we're in that time. Things are going to start moving fast. 2024, one thing that 2024 will be is definitely going to be a year of judgment. You're seeing people getting judged inside of days for their wickedness, and you're starting to see major prophecies being activated and manifested before our eyes. So that the Most High is not playing, and like I say, you're going to see great judgment going out in 2024. So 2024 it might not be the year of the day of judgment, but it's going to be a year of judgment in general, because we're going to build up to that point. And at some point in 2024, this situation in the Levant has to tip over into World War III. You can't leave it running until 2025. It'll calm down by then. So, the Most High is bringing it to the boil, and at some point you have to act when it's at the boil. So it will tip over. I doubt anything will happen, this side of 2023. We've only got 8 weeks to go. And meanwhile, these banking elites are trying to rush through this digital system. So something has to go down. When you look back over the last few years, you look how things have ramped up over the last couple of years. In the summer, I did mention the fact that, we're witnessing a calm before the storm when it came to, Iran. They made attacks on the small hats in 2020, in 2021, and in 2022. 2023 had been a quiet year, and I made a statement that, this is the calm before the storm. Now the storm's just started. The prophecy of Jeremiah 49 and 20 has been activated. And so, where do you think we're going to be in a year's time? This is going to, we're going to be very close to all hell breaking loose, if it hasn't broken yet already. And it says, the day of thy watchmen and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. So the day of the watchman, we tell you what's going to happen, and then it happens. That's the true definition of a prophet. And this is Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So we've waited. We've read these scriptures to you. We've given you that understanding. We've warned you. We don't take action ourselves. We wait for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, to take action. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So the activation of Jeremiah 49:20 is Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, rising up to the prey. They've activated the prophecy of the third woe. Once you break that seal, it's like you go to the shop and you buy something, and you take it home and you open the box, you look at it, and it says to you, once you break this seal, warranty is void. You can't refund, you can't return this item. So the prophecy of 49 and 20 Jeremiah, the activation of World War III, the seal has been broken. These other nations, they can't return it no more. You can't give it back. Everything that these Edomites have done, everything that's got them to this point, the weapons that they developed, the weapons, the ideas that the other nations have copied off them to have those same weapons themselves are now going to come straight back at them. And once this seal is broken, you can't return this particular situation. So this is what Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai has done by activating Jeremiah 49 and 20. He's broken the seal of World War III. The elect have to be sealed, and the only thing left to do is play out this particular scenario. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the implementation of the MOTB. They coincide. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations. So he's risen up to the prey. He's activated Jeremiah chapter 49 and 20. And now the other nations are gathering. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, the A-team of going against the small hats and America. They're the A-team of the East. You got this world war is pretty much going to develop into East versus West. The West see the East as an enemy, and the A-team of the East is Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. It says here, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, is making a visitation to the other nations. He's already made the visitation to the prophets. He's given us the understanding, the elect, the chariots, the so-called UFOs. He's made a visitation on that level. Now the visitation comes to these other nations, and for their perplexity. It says here, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. So when we look up this word determination, it's the determination of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. We should know what the word determine means. We should have an idea. So when we look at this word here, determination, we have mishpat. I'll just get you the sound, the pronunciation.
Strong's H, 4941. Mishpat. Mishpat.
So, we have the Valley of Decision in the Levant, which is where World War III will take place. And this is also known as the Valley of Yehoshaphat. In this particular case, this is Mishpat. So we have the Valley of Decision, and that's the word pat. And now we have Mishpat, which, outline of biblical usage is judgment, pretty much judgment. That's what's due to take place. The determination is the judgment of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. So when we look at the root word in the Hebrew, we have shafat.
Strong's H, 8199. Shaphat. Shaphat.
So this is the root word of mishpat, and again back to the outline of biblical usage. It says it's to judge, govern, vindicate, or punish. So that's the time we're in. These other nations are going to be judged. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to vindicate, his prophecy and the children of Israel. Now, when you go down to the bottom, the third. So we've got the third definition here, to execute judgment. Okay, that's what's happening. It's the Most High's determination pretty much is to execute judgment. Discriminating of man, vindicating, condemning, and punishing. It says, option D says at theophanic advent, for final judgment. So that's where we're approaching. We're approaching the final judgment. We're going to see many judgments along the way until we reach the main final judgment, the day of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. It says here, a theophanic advent for final judgment. So we bounce back to the scripture, Zephaniah 3 and 8. says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. Says, therefore, my judgment, my determination, which is his judgment, his theophanic judgment, is to gather the nations. So now we've got to look up the word theophanic. What do they mean by theophany? It says, a visible manifestation to humankind of the Most High, or a power. And that's where we're at. So Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai gave us a spirit to warn you. And, we never, we can tell you of things that are to come in the future, but we don't have anything physical to give you, apart from the scriptures and certain things that are taking place. And so now, like I keep referring back to it, last January I came out and I warned you, within 3 years, you will see World War III, guaranteed. And 10 months later, the activation of Jeremiah 49 and 20 is a theophanic event. The Most High has given us the Spirit to warn you of a particular event, and we warned you of it. I've told you it's going to come inside the range of 3 years, and it's come. In 10 months, you can physically see it. And that's where we're at. We're starting to see judgment go out very quickly. People are doing wickedness, and inside of a couple of days, they're dropping down dead for whatever reason. This is a theophany, a visible manifestation to humankind of the Most High, or of a power. We're warning you of World War III, and we've told you that the Most High is going to gather these nations together. It says here, Putin has invited senior Hamas and Iranian leaders to Moscow in a terrifying move towards forming an axis of terror. So, these scriptures are coming to life. This is theophany, a theophanic event. We warned you of it. Various stages of a watchman. And like I said to you, inside 3 years, you're going to see the activation of World War III. So looking forward, the next 12 months, we weigh up the situation with 2024. Where do you think we're going to be? Logically, you look at it, where do you think you're going to be in 12 months' time? This world war is going to be well underway, which means at some point this MOTB has to be mandated. And Jacob's trouble, great distress amongst the other nations, all these other things have to take place. So we're getting very close. 2023 has gone by. You've had 1 year out of that 3 year range. The second year, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is definitely going to turn up the event, the heat up on these events. We're now in the time of this visitation, this theophany, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, getting us to speak things and then making it happen. Things are starting to speed up. They're happening quickly. We talk you through events. We give you, ranges where they're going to happen. They're going to come very soon, and then they're happening. And this is a great time to live in, really. If you're on the right side of prophecy and the Spirit's working on you, the thought of the Third World War, it will bring excitement to you. The other day I was having this particular conversation just generally with a member of the public. Got into the conversation about World War III, what's happening down in the Middle East. And I said to this particular person, I said, these events are described in the Third World War. And I didn't say anything, about these scriptures or being a Hebrew Israelite or anything like that. I just made that one statement to see how this person reacts. And the person understood what I was saying, but what they brought to my attention, they said, yeah, but we're talking about World War III and you're smiling. And that's something that we can't help. So I had to hide my smile. I had to think, damn, shit, these people are going to think I'm a weirdo. Because I'm talking, World War III's around the corner. And they say, yeah, it looks like it. But they're like, but why are you grinning about it? And this is what's on our spirit. We can't wait for these particular times. The fact that Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai shows us what's coming, allows us to speak of them, and then they actually physically take place before your eyes. This is all theophany. And the Most High is making the visitation. Says here, therefore wait ye upon me. So we waited, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. Jeremiah chapter 9, 49 and 20. For my theophanic event is to gather the nations. So you're seeing them gather together. that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So, if the Spirit's working with you, this is not the time to fall out of this truth. You're about to step over that finishing line. Things are going to get very hectic in 2024. Great judgment is going to go out. I'm not saying 2024 is the year of judgment, the day of the Lord, that great day, but we're going to be very close to it. Even if we stretch into 2025, great judgment will take place next year. We're starting to see theophanic events. We're starting to see people go against the Most High, and we're starting to see them, drop down, and it's happening quickly. These events were stretched out. The people have always gone against Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and then you've seen certain things happen to these particular people. Maybe they end up in jail, or they end up dying, and they come out and speak publicly against Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Then something tragic happens to them. These events have always taken place, but now things are moving rapidly. I can say to you in January that you're going to see World War III start to develop inside 3 years, and it took 10 months. Just came up like that. There's people out there that are getting judged instantly inside of days out there. At the minute, we're seeing things happening. Death is occurring daily. So, keep your eyes peeled for 2024, and Lord willing, the Spirit's still working with you. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, for giving us the understanding and allowing me to give you this warning. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I hope that's edifying. Until next time, Shalom.